Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this afternoon there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. So let's delve straight into the topic. So I am going to be giving you some additional information on Koulibaly, also going to be giving you the latest news on Donny van der Beek, who currently plays for Ajax. I think I updated you about him, was it quite a few weeks ago? And also going to be talking with you a bit more about Jack Grealish. So there is loads to get into. So I have been reading reports today, and I think, this was stemming from the Sports Witness, and it was also stemming from the Italian newspaper, Tutto Sport, and they've said, that Manchester United have been in consistent contact with the Napoli president over the availability of Kalidou Koulibaly. Also, to Manchester City and PSG have expressed their interest in the player. Now, of course, as you all know, Manchester City are in search for a centre-half, because obviously, Vincent Kompany left Manchester City last summer. Also, Laporte's being injured for them, but City are planning to put someone alongside Laporte in their back line. Like I said, PSG have been in for him. Now, me personally speaking, I don't think Manchester United are going to sign a centre-half when the transfer window does reopen, because we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team. We've got Harry Maguire. We've also got Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre-halves. We've obviously got Eric Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backup centre-halves. And you've obviously got Fosu Mensah that can play as a centre-half. Obviously, Phil Jones, he's another centre-half we've got, but he's one of the players that's expected to leave Manchester United when the transfer window reopens. Obviously, there's uncertainty over Chris Smalling's future. He's on loan at Roma at the moment, but from my own perception, I'm very, very sceptical that Chris Smalling will be coming back to Manchester United. But as you all know anyway, Solskjaer's already identified the areas where he wants to strengthen up. So the priority areas are, he wants a centre-forward, he wants to recommend a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a midfielder in. But there has still been a few centre-halves on our agenda, and we've been relentlessly linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. Now, I think, was it last month, Kalidou Koulibaly had made an admission saying, that he wanted to leave Napoli in the summer transfer window, and he actually, told the Napoli president this. Now, don't forget, we was relentlessly linked with Koulibaly last summer. But we'd actually dropped our interest because Napoli priced him out of the transfer market, and they remain ruthless over their valuation. Basically, Napoli were not willing to do any business with the player, because I think Napoli wanted at least, was it £100 million last summer. Now, if we are to go in for Koulibaly in the summer transfer window, he probably will cost us in the 70 odd or 80 odd £million range. So probably we'll have to make him our one of our most expensive players, and we'll probably have to make him, the most expensive centre-half in the world, because obviously, the most expensive centre-half in the world is Harry Maguire, who we paid £80 million for. So we'll have to pay a bit more than the £80 million that we paid for Maguire if we want to get Koulibaly, or we'll have to pay the exact same amount. But, Napoli, will make a huge profit on the player, because Napoli only paid around 6.5 million for him from Genk back in 2014. And I've got to say, his performances have been very, very good in Italy. He's now into his sixth season, is it, with Napoli? And I think he's made around 173 appearances in the Serie A and scored around 10 goals. And has he made over 200 odd appearances in all competitions. I think Kalidou Koulibaly's still got around 3 years remaining on his contract. He's under contract with Napoli until 2023. But he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. But I'm very, very sceptical, that Manchester United will sign the player. Don't get me wrong, I'd be very, very excited about him, going alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. They complement each other fantastically well. And also put Lindelof into the equation, be playing alongside Victor Lindelof, to be quite honest with you. So, would you like to see Koulibaly come to Manchester United in the summer, or when the transfer window does reopen? Koulibaly, by the way, is 28 years of age. Is he 28? I think so. He is a highly experienced centre-half. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's also very, very effective in the air. Yeah, so, would you take him at Manchester United? And, we've had, I think the best centre-backs, I can recall us having, were Vidic and Ferdinand back under the Alex Ferguson era. And, just putting to the equation, if Koulibaly was to come in, do you think, Koulibaly and Harry Maguire, can replicate, Vidic and Ferdinand? Do you think they can be the next Vidic and Ferdinand? But, we shall see what happens anyway. So that's stemming from the Italian newspaper, Tutor Sport. We've been in consistent contact with the Napoli president over the availability of Kalidou Koulibaly. So just let me know if you want him at Manchester United. Now, let's delve into the news on Donny van de Beek. Now, the news on him is that, there's been rumours saying that, Donny van de Beek could leave Ajax when the transfer window does reopen. Now, Donny van de Beek's agent has been talking, he's been saying that he's not worried over his future. And he does expect, does his agent, for more clubs to attract their interest in his client and that, because, Donny van de Beek's been a revelation for Ajax. Now, I think it would cost us in the £40-odd million range. I think it did say it cost us around £47 million. Now, I think Real Madrid have been emerged as the favourites to sign Donny van de Beek, because I think it allegedly said a while back, that Real Madrid had an agreement in place to sign Donny van de Beek. But actually, Donny van de Beek came out the other week and, he says that he hasn't got an agreement with Real Madrid. But reiterate what I've just said, there's uncertainty over his future. Now, Donny van de Beek, up until this point, has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he joined their youth academy in 2008. Obviously, he was in their youth academy for a good 7 years, wasn't he? And, he's been in their senior squad since 2015. And he made his debut in the Europa League against Celtic. But since he broke into the senior squad, he has become an integral part of Ajax's team, definitely. He is only at the age of 22, so he is very, very young. He's got a contract with Ajax until 2022. He's got a contract with Ajax until 2022, and he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. I think he mainly operates in that number 6 role, does Donny van de Beek. So, would you like to see him come to Manchester United, Donny van de Beek? But I think a few clubs have expressed their interest in the player. And I've got to say, Donny van de Beek was key to Ajax, winning the domestic double last season. Was that like for the first time in 20-odd years? And also, he was key to Ajax, progressing to the Champions League semi-final. Ajax, don't forget, have got a very, very good youth setup. I think probably one of the best in the world. They have lost quite a few of their imperative players, recently. Don't forget they lost Frankie de Jong, didn't they, to Barcelona last summer. Didn't they get around 60-odd million for him? They also lost Matthias de Ligt to Juventus. Of course, Juventus paid around 75 million euros, which equates to around just over 67 million in pounds sterling. And don't forget, de Ligt's also been on our agenda, so he's another centre-half that's been on our agenda. But yeah, so that's the news on Donny van de Beek. So would you like to see him come to Manchester United? Now, let's delve into the news on Jack Grealish. So I've been talking with you guys a lot about Jack Grealish, haven't I, on my recent videos. Obviously, he's our number one priority target, for the summer transfer window. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and made an admission saying, that he wants Manchester United to sign Jack Grealish. And it has confirmed that Jack Grealish is our preference over James Maddison. Now, there's a couple of main explanations why Jack Grealish is our preference over James Maddison, because Grealish is a cheaper solution. I think Grealish is expected to cost us around 60, maybe 70 million pounds. But there again, due to the coronavirus crisis, maybe we could get Jack Grealish on the cheap. So maybe we could get him for like 30 or 40 million pounds. That's one of the reasons anyway. Also, too, I think he's supposed to be more versatile than James Maddison. And I think, obviously before the football season got suspended, he was in better form than James Maddison. Because, like I said, if we were to have any chance of getting James Maddison, we'd probably have to make him our most expensive player. I think we'd have to pay probably around 90, maybe 100 million pounds for James Maddison. But it's looking a lot more imminent, that we are going to sign Jack Grealish over James Maddison. Now, obviously, was it the other week or a couple of weeks ago now, like he updated you, there was reports emerging out saying, that Man United could miss out on Jack Grealish in the summer transfer window. That was obviously, reflecting on the incident with his Range Rover, because don't forget, he crashed his £80,000 Range Rover into like 3 parts cars in the West Midlands. And, obviously, give his overarching view on that, did Jack Grealish. And, he felt embarrassed about the incident, and he'd come out and publicly apologised. And I think he did get fined around £150,000. But he said, reflecting on that incident, Man United, could miss out on the player. But, we've been relentlessly linked with Jack Grealish. And like I said, he's been a revelation for Aston Villa. Up until this point, he's spent the vast majority of his career with Aston Villa. I think he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014. And since then, become an integral part of their team. Grealish was key to Villa getting to the Carabao Cup final this season. He was key for them, getting promotion to the Premier League. So, yeah. So, he has done really, really well. He's only the age of 24. Predominantly an attacking midfielder. Can occasionally play as a winner. Darren Bent recently came out and said he believes that he'll either join Man United, Tottenham or City when the transfer window does reopen, because revert back to the summer of 2018, Tottenham, I think, came very, very close to getting Jack Grealish for around £25 million, but the deal didn't materialise. But Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for several years. So I think he'll follow the footsteps of James Milner and Gareth Barry in that, because they're former Aston Villa players. But like I said, if Villa were to get relegated, then maybe, we could get him on the cheap anyway. But it did say, actually, we could only sign Jack Grealish if Manchester United, can sell Paul Pogba. But there again, he would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players into the football club like he did do last summer. Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023 in that. But if we were to miss out on Jack Grealish, then obviously, we'd look to try and get James Maddison on the board. We're seeing James Maddison as an alternative to Jack Grealish. I like Maddison a lot, don't get me wrong. He's well proven in the Premier League. He's done well since his arrival at Leicester. Leicester paid £20 million for him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. Also enjoyed a good couple of years in the Championship, so he's emulated himself up as James Maddison. I think there's still been some reports saying, that he could leave Leicester. I think Dan Bolon, which is a Spanish outlet, they've reported today saying that Real Madrid have allegedly expressed their interest in Maddison, and they're seeing him as an adequate replacement for Luka Modric. But I think James Maddison will probably end up remaining loyal to Leicester. He's obviously got 3 years remaining on his contract. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2023 as James Maddison. But there was talks the other week saying, that Leicester were in talks of getting him a new contract, and he was expected to sign a new contract. But, Brendan Rodgers has given his overarching view on it, and, he believes that James Maddison remains happy with Leicester. But, it's going to take at least 90, maybe £100 million to convince Leicester to offload him. And he is only at the age of 23. Last season, James Maddison created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So that just indicates how good he is. It just indicates how good he is. I think quite a lot of clubs were tracking him when he was at Coventry, because James Maddison actually began his career with Coventry. Leicester, did recruit around, 5-6 players in last summer. So they got a few players in. They got the likes of Dennis Pryor in, Yori Tillemans, James Justin, and I think they got a few other players in. But on the other hand, they've lost quite a few of their imperative players. We've already done business with Leicester, because obviously, we've got Harry Maguire off them for £80 million. Obviously, they lost Raheem Mahrez to City in the summer of 2018, lost Kante, lost Danny Drinkwater. So, yeah, so they wouldn't obviously, want to lose. Leicester wouldn't want James Maddison to follow their footsteps. But, yeah, I think, we'll probably get Grealish over James Maddison. Now, I want to delve into some more news on Paul Pogba. I've been talking with you guys about Paul Pogba, haven't I, on a regular basis. Now, Bruno Fernandes has come out and defended Paul Pogba. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. I think he's got like 3 goals and he's 4 assists so far. We paid 68 million, 65 or was it 68 million, for him with add-ons included. Gotta say, he's definitely the best player we've recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era, and he has been making the difference in the team. Don't forget Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for February. But yeah, he has come out and defended Paul Pogba because, like I updated you guys this morning, obviously Paul Pogba had come out and made an admission saying that he was an Arsenal fan as a child, and he gave a couple of main explanations why he was an Arsenal fan as a child. Because he loved Thierry Henry, plus he loved the French players, and he also revealed the players that was his favourite when he was young, and that was Zinedine Zidane, who was French, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and he also said Paul Pogba that his brother supported Arsenal when he was young, but he said his other brother supported Man United and that. Don't forget, like I updated you yesterday, Graham Souness, who's a former Liverpool player, like I said, he's been criticising Paul Pogba persistently, coming out telling him to put his medals on the table. He also, I think, criticised Paul Pogba, when he attended his brother's wedding last month, was it? He also said, it's that Paul Pogba, doesn't want to be at Manchester United. But he's criticised him, reflecting on his performances. I think he was also talking about his lengthy absentee. But, Paul Pogba had ignored, the criticism he'd received from Graham Souness for a while, up until yesterday. And it was yesterday, that Paul Pogba had responded to the criticism that he had received from Graham Souness. Paul Pogba, has basically said, he doesn't recognise Graham Souness. He didn't know who he was. He just heard he was a really, really good player and that. So this is, this was Paul Pogba's reaction to that, basically. That was his reaction. He also did reveal, Paul Pogba, that he had a bust up in a training session with Ravel Morrison, who I think's a former Manchester United player, is he? But yeah, so I think, Pogba will leave Manchester United when the transfer window does reopen. I do think he'll leave. I think he'll either go to Juventus. I think actually, Juventus does remain his first choice. It does remain his first choice to Juventus. Obviously, Paul Pogba enjoyed 4 good years with Juventus before he came back to Manchester United, because we paid £89 million for him, so he is our most expensive signing. We had Paul Pogba, don't forget, when he was a lot younger, under the Alex Ferguson era, but the main explanation why we had to let him go, was because of limited appearances. He wasn't getting enough chances, was Pogba, so we had to let him go on a free transfer. That's one mistake Manchester United did make. Like I said, then he went and enjoyed 4 good years with Juventus. If he isn't to make a return back to Juventus, then I can see him going to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. Don't forget, last summer, Real Madrid, were relentlessly linked with him, and his actual preference was a move to Real Madrid last summer, because Paul Pogba was saying last summer, that he was seeking for a new challenge, and he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club, and this is what he said. But the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer is because we priced him out of the market. We wanted £180 million. So we was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus. But Real Madrid were not willing to meet our asking price and that. But yeah, Real Madrid are still in for him now. Real Madrid, of course, did recruit around 5 or 6 players in last summer. And they spend around £300 million. Of course, Real Madrid got the likes of Rodrigo in, they got Eden Hazard in, they got Ferland Mendy in, they got Eden Militao in, Luka Jovic. So yeah, they did make quite a few signings last summer, did Real Madrid. They're also looking to offload players at Real Madrid. They're looking to get rid of James Rodriguez, Gareth Bale. They're also looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. Maybe there's a few other players that Real Madrid are looking to offload. But yeah, Paul Pogba still does remain on their agenda. And like I said to Paul Pogba, has a good relationship with Zinedine Zidane. Mini Raiola also, has got a really good relation with Real Madrid. Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of years, has been working on getting his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. Mini Raiola, though, has been talking a lot since the turn of the year. And, reflects on some of the comments he said. Manchester United had been very, very critical of him. Ed Woodward, of course, has had a few negotiations with Mini Raiola to basically, stop him making public attacks against the football club and that. But yeah, I think, his first choice does remain Juventus. But he was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about, playing under Zinedine Zidane and that. But yeah, also too, don't forget, swap deals have been on the agenda. Obviously, there's been talks of De Ligt coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. Talks of there were talks the other week of Ramsey coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. But swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. They're very, very rare in the modern game. Now, obviously, the narratives that have been coming out on Paul Pogba recently, were totally comparison to the ones that were coming out around 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think this was before the football got suspended. You had Sosljaker saying that Pogba will remain at Man United next season. Paul Pogba said himself, he was interested in staying at the football club because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes. Pogba's got, 2 years remaining on his contract, 1 year. But, the club do have an option to extend his contract for a further year. We've quoted out how much we want for Paul Pogba, and I think we want at least £100 million for him. So it's obviously very imperative that we get more money than, what we actually paid for him. But, maybe due to the coronavirus pandemic, maybe we could actually, get less than what we paid for him. Maybe we could only get around 60 or 70 million. Some reports have said he's only valued at around £31 million. PSG and Juventus have also been in for him before. PSG and Barcelona, have been in for him before. But, Pogba, was also telling the United podcast, about, the issues that he's had with injuries this season. But, he's determined to come back strong when the season does resume. And the season is going to resume on the 6th of June. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for Manchester United. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries, but Pogba's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. So, that's, the news on Paul Pogba. But, we're in the market, looking for an adequate replacement for Pogba. I obviously know this morning, didn't I give you the breaking news on Sosljaker from Atletico Madrid, didn't I? I'm very sceptical that Man United will get him. It actually said we secretly scouted him in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League second leg. But he's going to cost us around £130 million because that's Sosljaker's release clause. So he's one player who could replace Paul Pogba. So that's the latest on that. But obviously, it's good that, Solskjaer, is making plans. Well, he's already revealed his plans for when the transfer market, does reopen. Because don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently said that, we will exploit the transfer market when it does reopen. Because there's a lot of teams across the world that are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus crisis. And, teams are going to have to offload players to, generate money. But, he's very, very convinced, is Solskjaer, that we can get the right calibre players in. Solskjaer has revealed how many signings he wants to make. I think he wants to make around 4 signings in the summer transfer window because he believes that we need around 4 signings to become title contenders next season. Like I said, there is still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. There's still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. If Solskjaer is still here when the transfer market does reopen, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager because so far he's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the club. He's recruited 5 players in and spent around £220 million. So I've got to credit him for the signings that he has made so far. And Solskjaer has been here for around 16 months, so he has been at the football club over a year. But like I said, it is a transition period. It's been a transition period with Man United for a while. But Solskjaer said at the beginning of the year he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But in total, I think we've got around 14 players on our agenda. 14 players, but the question is who will Man United sign? I'm pretty confident we can get Grealish. I'm very, very convinced, we can sign Jadon Sancho. Like I said, Jadon Sancho is going to cost us at least £100 million. If we sign Sancho, could that convince Harry Kane to come in? Because don't forget, they are both British. But we definitely need a centre forward. Manchester United definitely need a centre forward. Also got to credit Solskjaer, because he has got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. We have seen 9 players leave in total since he came in. which is very, very good. And Solskjaer's planning to get rid of around 5 players, is it, in the summer, maybe 6. I think, we're going to get around £150 million to spend when the transfer market does reopen. But obviously, us selling players, it will increase our transfer budget. Like I said, I expect Jones to go. Pogba will go. I expect Lingard and Andres Pereira to go because, they are 2 liabilities. I also think we'll negotiate on getting rid of Marcus Rojo on a permanent transfer. I think we'll also get rid of Smalling on a permanent transfer and that. So yeah, players will definitely go. They will definitely leave Manchester United when the transfer window does reopen and that. But like I said, before all the football season got suspended, we was in a good run of form because, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and that's our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. Taking into account Solskjaer did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Won his first 8 games, only lost one of his first 17 in all competitions, and won 14 out of 19 in total. So obviously, that was enough to give him the job permanently. We did make a mistake giving him the job permanently. I think, we're giving the job a bit too soon. But, he did really, really well in that 3-month period. Since he's got the job permanently, let's be honest, his record has been disastrous. He's obviously, his record was disastrous at Cardiff, though. But Solskjaer enjoyed only a short tenure with Cardiff. He only managed around 28 or 29 games for them. But the main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because, Cardiff had got relegated, and put into the equation, we was in a relegation battle earlier on in the season. We were struggling, to get wins. We were struggling to score goals. Performances weren't good enough and that. But it's been totally comparison, in the 11 games, that we're unbeaten in. So that's obviously, very, very good to see. And obviously, I thought Solskjaer did well at Mould, so I'll credit him for that. He did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould, did Solskjaer. I still don't know if he's a long-term solution for Man United, like I said. But I think, the club should give him at least another season. Give him at least a couple more transfer windows to see who else he can recommend into the club. Because he has recruited 5 players in so far. But taking into account Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of the players that Mourinho brought in, because the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. Obviously, there's still a couple of players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matter here from the David Moyes era. And I think there's only Jones and De Gea here now from the Alex Ferguson era. So Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding. So hopefully, Solskjaer can follow Ferguson's method and build the next great Manchester United team. I don't see Solskjaer being the next Alex Ferguson, but I don't think any manager, will replicate Alex Ferguson's legacy. Ferguson, enjoyed 26, 27 years at Manchester United, was a long-serving manager, and, we've had a lot of success up and down the generations, and of course, that came under Alex Ferguson. But taking into account, Alex Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, but, he had a lot of good players under him, he developed a lot of young players as well. But since he, retired, we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years, let's be honest. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers. And, we're not really known for a sacking club, but we have. We got rid of Moyes, we got rid of Van Gaal, and we got rid of Jose Mourinho. But, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like I said, we are the most successful team in England. Historically, we've won 20 titles, 13 of them Premier Leagues. But, so we need to get the right players in the summer if we are to, if we are to compete with the likes of City and Liverpool, because, let's be honest, City and Liverpool are strides ahead of us at this moment in time. But we can get some silverware on the board. That's also positive. We haven't won out yet under Solskjaer, but, we can win the Europa League. We're into the last 8. We can win the FA Cup. We are into the quarterfinals. I do like the way Solskjaer has promoted the youth as well. I do like that. He's promoted the youth very, very well because the young players have been given their opportunities this season. So I've got to credit him for that. Greenwood's done well. Williams has done well. I think McTominay's done well as well. Chong, he's done well in the games he's played in. Gomez, he hasn't really been given his opportunities because there's been uncertainty over his future. So, yeah. And there's quite a few players that are the long-term future for Manchester United. Another good thing, a lot of players have improved under Solskjaer. You know, we've been getting the best out of Martial, Rashford. Obviously, Rashford's been out of a back injury though for a while. You know, Luke Shaw's improved since he come back because he was out for like 2 or 3 months. He was out for like 2 or 3 months. You know, Lindelof, he's really, really improved as well. Got to give him a lot of credit. You know, we've seen the best of Fred. But yeah, we have been getting the best out of Fred because he's been given his opportunities under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Matic, you know, he's done also really, really well, so I've got to give him a lot of credit. And in general, a lot of aspects of our game have improved. Our football looks more expansive before the football season got suspended. We're scoring more goals, we're creating more chances, and that's what we do. That's what we do want to see. So that is a positive, you know. But like I said, I know I've criticised Solskjaer this season, and a lot of United fans have, but he hasn't only been the problem throughout the course of this season. You know, United fans have been criticising Ed Woodward. We've also been doubting the club's ownership, you know, the Glazers. So there's been various issues at the club throughout the course of this season. But whether Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the club works out or not, we'll never forget what he's done for the club. You know, he was a great player for us for 11 years. He won us a treble back in 1999 as a player. That's obviously one of the club's greatest achievements. And, you know, we'll never forget what he's done for the club. So we'll just see how it plans out, basically. So anyway, guys, drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.